is, man. Like, comment, subscribe. Make sure y'all follow the page. Follow the Instagram at A1SF_CEO. That's at A1SF_CEO. And let's get to it. Today we're going to be talking about understanding millennials, because I'm a millennial, 30 years old, just turned it a couple of weeks ago. I just want to, put a better light out there for millennials and, a spotlight out there for us pretty much, because, I hear a lot about how things have changed with society, how the younger generation is lazy or, open to a lot, whatever the case may be. We're gonna dive into it because, it's better to hear it from somebody who's actually there. So, just to get started, millennial ranges start from the year 1981 going all the way to 1996. So if you're after 96, I'm sorry, you ain't a millennial, you a Gen Z. That's cool, be yourself. Gen Z people cool, you feel me? But we can't all be millennials, you feel me? So 1997, 1998, 99, y'all Gen Z. So y'all when shit really shifted. Millennials, we kind of got the chance to see both sides of the spectrum as far as the technology and everything being analog. So when I say analog, I mean more so like when I was younger, we used to play outside in the street. I'm talking about throwback football, throw-up football, find anything we can get into. We used to make bean shooters out of the liter sodas. You get a liter soda, you cut the top off, and then you get like a balloon, wrap it around the top, get a rubber band to wrap it on, throw some rocks in there, and you can shoot that as a projectile. And we used to shoot at each other, running around, with the bean shooters, man. Like that's just how we grew up. And then we got the chance to see the shift in technology where the internet, being introduced and, having to deal with dial-up and then the invention of MySpace, Facebook, and other things. So, I think we're kind of a special group, a special generation, because we know the difference in culture. Gen Z, they kind of do too, but it was more so being pushed out, the narrative of, going to PE or going out there on the playground and just really finding things to do with the environment around you. Like I was just telling my younger brothers them, who are Gen Zers, and my younger sister, they don't know about being outside till the lights come off, till the street lights come on rather, and you can't come back inside the house throughout the daytime. If you do, they're gonna keep your ass in there. We used to have to drink out the water hose if we wanted to get some water. Like my grandpa getting mad if he, washed the lawn, if he just did his put the water on the lawn. You can't play on that, so we had to play in the street. And we used to do it to where, our street versus this street, playing football, pickup games, and that's where a lot of the athletes were bred. That's where you got to showcase your skills. Like, ain't no tackling or nothing like that. You literally got to know how to have hands and know how to shape. And, if you ain't doing any of that, you were playing quarterback. So that's just, the way that we were brought up. And I think a lot of millennials could kind of attest to that. If you grew up in the hood, if you grew up in spots that I grew up down here in Miami and Liberty City, that's kind of how it was. That's how it went. So, that's why I say I think we're a special generation, man, because we get a better understanding. But what I would say about millennials is, and what I tell my friends all the time, is that we're more the generation of, we care about everything, but don't give a fuck about nothing. That's the only way I could put it. Like, we care so much about mental health. We care so much about work-life balance. We care so much about, making sure, our image is straight. At the same time, we can care less about current events. We can care less about somebody impeding on something that we think is wrong, because we just want to make sure we're, handling business for ourselves. And a lot of times that gets misconstrued as being egotistical or being like, narcissist, which I think that's a millennial term, right? I think that's a term that we kind of quoted out here, being a narcissist, because it's more so about, our self edifying factors, making sure that we are, happy in the things that we do. We're walking our truth and living our truth. So, that's how it gets looked. But that's not the case. It's just we understand, we can see through the bullshit because we come from the analog and then we go to the technology. So we can see, we can shift through when something's bullshit and when it's not. And you telling me, the working a 9-to-5 job, especially right now with the way the economy is, man, we see through the bullshit. We gonna do it because that's the responsibility, but nobody really want to do that motherfucking shit, and if we can fight against it, we will. That's the reason why we push for 15 an hour, 15 an hour, 20 an hour for minimum wage, because, times have changed. It's not the same, man. We see niggas out here getting money quick off the internet. Gen Z, I would give them their kudos because they really getting money out here, using technology for its advantage, and they really, whether it's, legal or illegal, scamming, whatever, they getting their money. And, as millennials, we see that. It's like we get skipped over, I guess, in a sense, because we sitting here working our asses off, thinking that that's going to, get us to the promised land, but life's about choices. And so that's just, my opinion on how millennials are. Me being a millennial, I just hit 30 years old, but I feel like I'm 25 on the inside. But the reality is, I'm not, and so a lot of the things that I connect with, doesn't connect with younger generation because they're on a different timing. Like the music, essentially, Ice Spice and things like that. I might not agree with it, but this is what they want to listen to, Twitch streamers and things like that. That's what they want. People might look at it as childish or clowning, but that's just how things move. That's how the society works, man. Boomers had their time and, it came and went. Generation X had their time. It came and went. Millennials, we have our time, which honestly is right now. And then Gen Z, they gonna have their time to shine. So, that's how I look at it when it comes to understanding the millennial, man. Just getting into the head on how we think, how we look on things, how we focus. Millennials are very hard workers, contrary to popular belief. They want to say that we're lazy, but it's not that we're lazy, man. It's just we ain't got time for bullshit. We do not have time for bullshit. We don't want nobody bullshitting us. So, if it's bullshit, we are going to exit out stage left. And that would mean putting our pride to the top and just saying, hey, if I got to thug it out, for X amount of time until I get to what I need to, I'm going to do that. That's not laziness. That's, in my opinion, being smart. That's being wise. Like, nigga, look, we can't buy houses. Like, your rent is damn near 70% of your take-home pay from the job that you work in. How you supposed to go out there and then take care of the necessities, and then on top of that, still want to live a life of balance, not just working and busting our ass and grinding. Now you're gonna have the top people that's gonna grind regardless. That's just what they do. That's their life. They're gonna, work, which is kind of how I am. I don't need too much. I don't need to go outside too much. I don't need to be in every scene. If I'm not getting paid for it, it's really not a reason for me to be out there, honestly. So, that's pretty much that. I want to get into the family dynamics into millennials because now a lot of us are starting to have our own families. All right, so going back to what I was saying earlier, we used to have it to where, we couldn't come back inside the house if you outside throughout the day. You gotta stay out there until the lights come on, and ain't no running in and out the house. Hey, my mom, she ain't having it. You feel me? So getting even back to that, like a lot of us grew up with single parents, right? Didn't have the father in the home, which was kind of, it's more adopted at that time frame because we grew up like this, and so that this is how we see it. I grew up with my mom, and we lived with our grandma, and my father wasn't in our life, and a lot of my peers was a similar thing. So now that I'm at 30 and having my own family, it's a little bit easier for me to sit here and be like, well, we can co-parent. Now, granted, co-parenting isn't easy at all because you're sharing something, sharing a responsibility with somebody else. You really got to make sure that you guys work on one accord. But we understand it because it's like, we look at it like this is how we grew up and we still straight, you know? We still good. But at the same time, we talk about mental health a lot. But, you know, that's just, I think, how life goes. I think as you get older, your mental health starts to get tested a lot because you start seeing things. But that's, you know, for the family dynamic that we created. So now when you look at maybe a younger generation, a Gen Z that, you know, there's some of them that might start having kids, they really don't give a fuck. They truly don't give a fuck. Like, nigga, hey, they not doing it because, you know, we grew up millennials, understanding that's what it was, and now we're starting to move into that fact to be more comfortable with it. And then the generation after us is going to even more so get more comfortable because they're going to think that's what life is. They're going to think that's how it is. Now, whether it's right or wrong, I'm not here to debate that, but in my opinion, I think it's wrong. I think, you know, a family unit should stick together. That's how I always see it. But, man, you know, today's society is so much different, man. There's so much access, there's so much, you know, going on, so much movement. You know, how can a person be committed to just one person? Like, listen, man, I understand it. I get it. If I'm with a chick and she see an opportunity where it seems like a get money nigga is at her neck and, you feel me, I might be on a downturn at that time and he fucking with it, he's showing her a little attention, like, of course she's gonna do that shit. I expect that, you know, 9 times out of 10. I expect that's what's gonna happen, but, you know, that ain't gonna stop me from still wanting to be with somebody, which I think a lot of millennials now kind of get into that mind frame, as far as that's why they don't want to have kids, or that's why they don't want to get into relationships, you know. And I challenge my peers, like, you know, they always say they don't want to have kids because they don't want to co-parent. You know, they don't want to have to, you know, deal with somebody that changes up on them. But that's the wrong way of thinking. And what I tell them all the time is, you are focusing too much on somebody else. And it's not about somebody else. I got a kid, I'm co-parenting right now. But the reality is this: are you a person that could be co-parented with? Are you a good parent? Or are you a good person, a decent person? Do you hold the basic necessities that's needed to, you know, bring the next generation or bring a child into the world? Are you handling your responsibilities in your business so that your kid can, you know, at least when they with you, can have, you know, the basic needs met? And that's what I tell them. You know, people get so caught up in the other person, but they're not looking at themselves, man. Look in the mirror and ask yourself, maybe it's not the other person, because ultimately the other person gonna be the other person regardless. Only person that you can account for is you, right? So no matter in any situation that I've been in or any relationship that I've dealt with, I always want to make sure that I put the right foot forward so that, you know, at least I've moved authentic. Now, have I fell short? Yes, I fell short a few times. I'm a human. I'm not perfect. I just, you know, ask for grace in those situations, man. Look out for your boy. Like, you know, don't put me on the pedestal of thinking that I'm the perfect person. You know, when I make mistakes, like, I'm gonna make mistakes, and if I come to you with an understanding heart to say I want to make a change, well, give me the opportunity to make that change. Don't just count me out and say, oh, that's it, move on to the next person. Like, nah, man, don't do me like that. At least, you know, give a nigga a chance. But it's hard because you competing against so many other people with social media and with just how the world is now. Like, a person doesn't have to put up with that. But if we want society to stay a strong, tight-knit society, I think that's what would be needed. I think we need a strength and understanding that, you know, that's just how it is. Relationships is what's necessary, and you're going to need them moving forward. You can't just isolate yourself. You can't stop yourself or deny yourself from the beauty of having a kid or bringing kids into this world, you know, because it's going to be stressful, it's going to be hard times, but there's no better feeling than when you got your kid with you, you know, and they just watching you and doing everything that you do. You're literally creating a little mini me, and, you know, that, to me, I think that's priceless. There's nothing out there that'll take that. away. So, don't cut yourself out. If you're a millennial and you think that, you ain't having kids because everybody out here ain't shit, that's true. Everybody out here ain't shit. You included. You feel me? You ain't excluded from this motherfucker. Like, your ass ain't shit either. I guarantee you I could talk to somebody in your circle or somebody around you that would say, oh, this nigga ain't shit, I'm just fucking with him because of this, or this bitch ain't shit, I'm just messing with her because, or whatever the case may be. So, you know what I mean? Own that shit, but at least be authentic in the movements that you make. If you're doing it for the greater good. So we got to make sure we keep the family dynamics, especially as a community within the black community. We got to make sure we stick stronger together because it's power in numbers, and that's the way we, get our power back and can take over shit. Then we want to go into the church. So millennials really ain't in the church at all. You got a sect of them that are in the church, and more power to them. But most millennials ain't really vibing with that church. Their church is the club on the weekend. Their church is the gym. I'm in here right now. This is my church. It's my congregation. When I'm with clients or when I'm with homeboys and people, we sit down and we converse. We sit down and we fellowship. However they say it. We sit down and we talk. We break bread together. This is how we connect. I think millennials understand that a church isn't the necessary thing that's needed to praise God. We're more in tune with spirituality. So we know, right, that your body is your temple. It's a lot of millennials I see now that's really getting onto the gym and getting their health right. And I think that that's the first step to anything when it comes to being godly, man. You want to make sure that your health is right, because without your health, there's nothing else you can do out here. Like, there's nothing you can do. You're worthless. You need your help. And then we see through the whole tithes and offerings, like, man, come on, man. Ain't nobody trying to sit there and have to pay tithes and offerings to keep a membership in the church. Now, I don't understand the church dynamics enough to understand how that can help you. It probably can, those connections that they maybe could, put you to, then that would make sense. But I think we see now with how inflation is going, making it tough on us. Like, why am I gonna give a person that's giving me false, hope because they ass ain't living right, and I'm paying to their congregation and they pulling up on me stunting? Like, nah, that ain't motivation, nigga. You stunting, nigga. What the fuck you talking about? You pulling up in the big body and you telling me, oh, this is motivating? No, it's not. It's not at all. So, the church is kind of on its way out, which is kind of sad because you need some sense of hope. You need some sense of faith to keep moving. But as long as we keep that spirituality and it's countless of millennials that I've talked to on a deep connection, like a telepathic connection, as if like, they know what I'm thinking or they know what I'm feeling, going through what I'm going through. And I think that's, in essence, what's needed for society. We just have to find a way to channel all of that energy into positive things and not things that's negative. So, we'll be on the same thing telepathically, but listening to the same drill music or whatever. So now we can't come together like this because we so paranoid into thinking that this person want to slight me or that person want to slight me, because this is what we hearing, this is what we seeing, going on. So, I think we just got to find a way of pushing out a positive narrative, so that we don't find ourselves into a situation where we're just against each other, divided, and just going against each other. And then, our economic impact on society, I think, like I said before, we are some hard-ass workers. I think every millennial that I've talked to, that I know, they ass putting in hella hours, right? They ass is working. If they working 2 jobs, they going and they getting it. But, it's just burnout. It's burnout, man. There's only so much a person can take. I'm 30 now. Like, I ain't the same 25, 26-year-old or a 23, 22-year-old that can just, you know what I mean? Like, after a while, you do that shit, you get burnt the fuck out. And, I see Gen Zers that's up here on social media that's just living, that's out here doing their thing, which is a facade too, but still, like, fuck it, nigga, how you living the facade? Show me. I want to learn how to live the facade too. God damn it, like, shit. That's pretty much, I think, what a lot of millennials look at. For the longest, I always would keep a job outside of me doing the training. I'm licensed to do security. I do private security now. and I still pick up, shifts and jobs wherever I can, just because, it's always good to have that structure, and then at the same time, it's good to still build connections with, right? And security, especially doing nightlife security, man, you rub shoulders with a lot of people, and so it's a lot of opportunities that you can make, man. People, may look down on that security thing, but the reality is I done been into some situations in some places around people that I could never imagine. Like, damn, man, this, I'm standing right here, but they not paying attention to me because I'm just security. But at the same time, it's like, I can't believe it. So, I think with millennials, we just need to, I ain't gonna say work harder. I think we just need to work smarter and make sure that, we're being wise with our money, starting to get, focusing on our 401ks. I know throughout the pandemic, a lot of people started getting on crypto or started trading and things like that, but we need to stick to those ideals as far as, your retirement plans and, now looking at the bigger picture. Like I said, I'm 30, so, I'm trying to be out of work next year. I ain't trying to be doing this shit next year, so I got to figure out ways to make sure my money is compounding, exponentially, so that I could put myself in a position that I don't have to continue to work until I'm 65 or 70 by the time we get there. So, we see the value in the dollar going back to the way we were raised through the analog times. Like, I can go to the gas station with just $1 and get 4 fudge rounds, or get 2 fudge rounds and a small mini Ritz soda, or get 1 fudge round and 3/4 juices, or hit the candy lady store and hit big. So we know the value of $1. So now when we see how things have shifted, now you can get a fudge round, a small ass fudge round is $1 itself. Like, this is bullshit, nigga. The shit look like it got smaller. It don't even look the same size as it was before. So, that's why we, again, just look at like, what's the point? We up here busting our ass for shit that is less than what we used to get. You feel me? Like, it's not fucking worth it. What are we doing this shit for? And I think a lot of millennials look at life that way. So, that's just something that you gotta roll with the punches and learn how to innovate yourself, get more skills, and put those skills, use having confidence in yourself to know that you are who you are. So when it comes time for the opportunity to make the most of it, and you can demand your price that you want, and don't settle for nothing less. So that's my view on millennials. Me being one, me living a millennial lifestyle, it got its ups and its downs. Like, it's a lot of free spirit millennials that, it could be looked at as weird or whatever the case may be, but you're gonna have that in every sector, man. It's just, you gotta fit in, get in where you fit in, pretty much. So, to the millennials that's out there though, man, y'all make sure y'all focus on your health. That's the main thing right now, because like I said, we getting older now, and your body starts to change. You ain't the same young kid that you was before, so you want to make sure that you're ahead of the curve, instead of hitting doctor's visits and they're telling you that, you're at this point where you ain't got no choice, you got to take this medication. Like, nah, kill that before it happened, man. Like, hop on it right now, work on your retirement plans, make sure you're doing, the things necessary that can set up your future for the ultimate success and the ultimate reward, which is just going out there and living how you want to live it. So y'all already know what it is. We just knocked out an upper body chest workout, man. I feel good. I'm about to go and attack the rest of the day, move on to the next opportunity and the next goal. And like I always say, let's get this work.